don't want you to confuse emotional suppression
Right.
with emotional resilience.
Right.
That is a difference.
Okay, make it clear.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
I think men are really good at suppressing emotions and keeping it moving.
Compartmentalizing.
Compartmentalizing and keeping it moving.
You are excellent
There's
at
a
it.
difference between that and emotional resilience. Are men resilient? Absolutely.
Okay.
It's
Right,
not-
absolutely.
Men are resilient, but
No,
I'm talking
okay.
about
Agreeing with that.
emotionally resilient. That is not the same thing. You're married, right? So you share something with your wife, right? That's very, very deep and personal to you, right? And she takes it in, and then you guys have an argument, and she brings it back up. That part of your heart will never ever be allowed to be exposed to your wife ever again. That's what I mean by emotional resilience.
It has to do with vulnerability.
It has to do with vulnerability. When a man is vulnerable and you violate that, he's never going to be vulnerable.
It's why
with you.
women can come back
Yes.
from a breakup and like a man can be cheated on and he'll never trust. Like
Yeah.
it might take him 5 years to get over it, whatever it is, or however long from the timing of it. Whereas a woman will sit there and be like, "All right, girl, let's get back out there." It's just the ability to be able to bounce back. The bounce back on men emotionally. Obviously, and dealing with your trauma.
Because you're
there-
serious.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I need to understand the time frame or whatever, because what that explanation, what you're saying is like males cannot ever we can't get over anything, right?
Now we're getting somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're
a lot of men who don't get over a lot of stuff.
I don't.
I just don't.
I don't agree with that either.
Real lot of men who don't do that.
I don't agree either. I think that where we are right now is in this place where we really are questioning everything we've been told about what masculinity and what femininity is. I think for a lot of men, they've grown up in what I call suck it up culture. It's like something happens to you when you're a little boy. What are you crying for? Suck it up.
Yeah.
So you learn. Don't be a punk. Don't be that masculinity is sucking it up. And then what happens is you get older and there's some things you can't suck up. You need to express, like what we do when we break up. You need to cry. And can I just finish this point? And so in a culture where we have defined masculinity in terms that aren't necessarily healthy, we've defined it as emotional suppression, we've defined it as stoicism, as irrational, as logic, and as domination. And in a culture where we defined femininity as acquiescence, as being your worth being tied to your beauty and your youth, as being codependent and even needy sometimes, we've defined both of these genders in very pejorative terms. We've gotten to a place where this is not working anymore. So, for example, being on a date, I guess, with a independent, strong woman. There are some women who are very independent in finances, but needy as hell in emotion. And I think when you go on a date like that, you're gonna feel this. But when you get the real thing, you're gonna feel something else, I promise you. So maybe you need to keep looking. So, I mean, that's the one thing. But also, if you've been told that love as a man also means domination, that to love you means I have to make more money than you and be the provider. This is what love is. It has to be this some sort of, and by domination I don't mean like Godzilla domination. I mean just that I'm bringing in most of the money and I've got the power in the relationship. I have a certain amount of control. That's how society has defined love for you, and now you have a woman that is maybe equal financially or just defining herself outside of her relationship to you. She's got an identity out in the world that may feel like uncomfortable because it's going to require you to reevaluate not just who you are as a person, but who you are within the relationship and what love means to you. And I think that's actually beyond black and white. I think our entire society.
I want to support her point. So me, growing up, my last name Pierre is very big in my community, in government and politics, huge thing, right? Then I decided to marry a doctor, right? Who her last name is published. This is who she's known as, right? In her career, in her trajectory.
So she hyphenated?
So, huh?
Did she hyphenate?
No. right?
Took your name?
No.
She didn't take your name.
Wait. But this is the thing. When the conversation came to the table, it was like, because wait. And that's why I said I want to support her point. She got to change every single white coat that she has. If someone is researching her, they will not find her if she changes her name. Certain opportunities in her field come from people looking for her based off of an article that they read or some research that she did, X, Y, and Z. Right? So at that point, my last name, I have a political family,
Right.
and then I'm like your man's man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I got to deal with the chat,
Yeah.
right? I got to deal with the bros in the chat. So what do I do at that moment? Right?
Did you feel emasculated?
Huh?
Did you feel emasculated when she didn't take your name?
No. I'm saying this is a conversation, right?
Okay.
We had the conversation. The conversation
In
had to
that
happen
moment.
I think he was.
In
at
that
that
moment.
moment.
In
Because
that moment.
because when you go to the justice of the peace and you have to get the marriage license, that's when the conversation has to come up.
If
Right.
not before.
It should. It
If
should
not
come up
before,
Right.
right? Because it's like, all right, what are we gonna do here?
Right.
And everybody's looking at each other now, right? Like, well, and I'm like, yeah, what you mean? Go ahead.
Right.
And it's like, no, actually, we need to have a conversation. And at that point, I had to understand, like, this is my wife, right? She has made it to a point in her career. She had to fight to get here. It wasn't a breeze,
Right.
right? She did 12 years.
Yeah.
This is a
Praise
12-year
God.
journey.
Right.
And I had to understand, and I had to say to myself, you know what, babe? Without having the 5 hours back and forth,
Right.
I had to be like, you know what, babe? It's cool.
Yeah.
Salute you, man.
I said it was
Salute you.
cool. And guess what she said to me? She was like, but socially, I want to be known as Mrs. Pierre.
Actually, so my
Absolutely.
mom is a physician, and she graduated medical school before me. My dad already established herself, and doesn't
Yeah.
change. She's her
So,
maiden name
like,
professionally.
socially,
But socially, she
right? And I didn't have to ask that. I didn't have to say, well, you know what? But when people, I didn't have to do that because there was a conversation that was there.
Right.
A lot of men probably would think
That
I'm
communication
soft,
is key.
right? Oh, she's walking
It really
all over
would've
you,
been hard
Sam.
to change it.
X, Y, and Z. It would have been really, really tough, right? So, to support your point, I think it's us as men. Sometimes we have to also be like, all right, because it's touch. No, let me tell you, man. Like, not everybody can do that, but I also understand that in a relationship, when you're talking, okay, but go ahead.
Yeah, and
Touch it.
let me
It's a different. It's a different. And let me end off by saying this. It's different folks, different strokes for different folks, because that's a very high level conversation right there. Some people can't even enter that, right, because they're not mentally even prepared, right? Some people are, and I started by saying, brother Bishop, I started by saying that it was not even a question. Like, my family members was calling her Mrs. Pierre even before she was Mrs. Pierre, because it was like, there's no conversation.
I think it's just even powerful that this is even a conversation. Like,
right. One of the things that you brought up, Tyrone, I found very interesting.
Interesting.
You said that when women, they think they want a man who's of a certain level of success.
Until they get it.
Until
Damn,
they
I
get
might got away with
it.
it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, trust. Until they trust and believe. I never forget. Okay? I may not. Yes. Right. Yes. So until they get it.
Yeah.
What that implies is that we have to conform to your expectation.
No, it doesn't.
And we have to fit a mold based on what you want, right? It's never a
Yeah,
conversation. It's never a conversation to say, okay, she may not be everything I want, so I may have to, temper my expectations, just like I may not be everything that she wants. Let's come together and figure out what works for us as a couple. The conversation is often, she thinks this is what she wants until she gets it. No, why don't we come in as flexible human beings who come with baggage
What you said before.
and
Yeah, I agree.